Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto, and here is how I'm looking at the day. So what is Stitch doing? That's my dog in the background. Hackers returned $61 million that they had stolen from Curve Finance. The question is why? Well, the reason why is because Curve Finance did something actually pretty bold. They actually said, hey, look, listen, we are going to offer a 10% bug bounty if you return 90% of the money. Money started flowing back really quick. Really quick. Like within a day, things started returning. So all that FUD, everything that swerved around, well, they started making moves. Here's something to contemplate. It actually is a bug. If a hacker hits your system and they're able to achieve something, there is a bug. And guess what? It means something. So, offering a bug bounty is a bold move, but actually pretty sound. So now you know what you have to plug up and pretty much how quick you have to do it. Now, something else that's going on is that people are still looking for the hacker or hackers. Understandably so, but hey, it happens. But during that hack, Alchemix lost 13.6 million. Metronome lost about 1.6 million, and JPEG'd lost about 11.4 million. So I'm pretty sure each one of those projects that rely on Curve Finance are pretty happy to get their money back. Now, something that I've been paying attention to is total value locked. Right now, it sits, in general, sits at about $53 billion, 53 plus, right? One of the projects out there on Avalanche, real world assets, achieved $1 billion in assets, there. And I was like, wow, that's actually a big deal, especially since I know that Cardano has been taking a hit on the DeFi side. So as they decline, Avalanche has been moving up. I also know that DeFi is going to take off pretty doggone soon because I know of a lot of projects that are happening that have been kind of flying underneath the radar, right? And they're just starting to remove the covers, and you can see that there are some big things going on in the DeFi space. Now, Satoshi Kusama, whoever this person is, I don't know them personally. I think they're mad cool. Some scammer came out and said, oh, there are two new coins hitting the Shibarium ecosystem. One of them was named Treat. And I just sat there and I was like, how dumb is that? His response was just awesome. I got to read it to you because I didn't memorize it. And it's a really, really long response, but it's so worth it. Untrue. Do better. It cracks me up because scammers are trying to take advantage of the upcoming announcements that are going to happen in the Futurist Conference later this month. I believe it starts next week. And that's going to kick off the summer of Shibarium. I'm just saying, pay attention. There's going to be a lot of news dropped around Shiba Inu and its ecosystem. And that leads me to say, you can't call it a meme coin if it has an ecosystem. Just putting that out there for you. They're doing real things over at Shiba Inu, and I'm all for it. I am all for it. Now, there was a class action lawsuit against Tether and Bitfinex. And at first blush, you might think, oh my God. Then you start digging in and you realize, well, the class action is because the two people thought that, and it's in my article. If you look down, you can see that I write articles every day, and you'll see the names in my article. But two people said, "Hey, look, listen, it's not, it's not backed 1-to-1 by the U.S. dollar." Yeah, okay. They never said they were, but even if they did, okay, whatever. You couldn't prove harm, and you couldn't prove that USDT actually lost value. Okay, there you go. So it was dismissed. I agree. Now, do I use Tether? I've used it maybe once or twice, during a transfer process, right? But have I used it? Do I use it on a regular basis? Not at all. Not even planning on it. Not that I don't trust it, but I don't need it. And there are other ways for me to maneuver my assets or the value of my assets. Just saying. I do pay attention to, the Forex like moves where I can make money by maneuvering between various assets or maneuvering between various exchanges. So I do pay attention to that. Something else that I'm paying attention to is Australia seems to be moving toward a cashless society, although quietly and slowly seems to be going in that direction. Now, the benefit is that it could hurt criminals. The negative is that it could hurt the elderly. Why? Because the elderly actually rely on that physical cash, as well as they're not exactly quick to accept change. We'll see. I think education can go a long way. Now, something that I'm really paying attention to is Heartland Tri-State Bank. Why? Because it failed. Okay? Now, oddly enough, it seems that regional banks are on an uptick, but Heartland failed. In that report, I was also reading that, bank deposits are decreasing. Inflows are decreasing. Which led me to start thinking about, what's really going on in the banking space? And I just don't think that everything is a deposit, right? Banks make money in a lot of different ways through a lot of different avenues. And direct bank deposits, that number could actually be going down as other things start to go up. So money management services, all that stuff, assets under management. So depositing to me is different than investing to me. And I would have to see a report that would compare the two to see, are we seeing a decline over here and an uptick in inflows over there? That would be a report that I'd be interested in. So I'm not counting banks out, and I don't really want to count banks out. Banks serve a specific, need, right? It's just that I think that there are banking services or traditional banking services that are moving away from banks, and banks are moving toward other services. And, that would change or alter the definition of a bank, right? And that's what I keep paying attention to is what is that new definition of a bank, right? Because I'm one that does not want to hold a lot of money in a bank. That's giving them my money so they can go make money. I'd rather have my money make money for me. So I only keep a certain amount of money in banks, and I keep other money in assets in other ways. But you still need banks to do certain things, and that's why I believe that they're not going anywhere. They're just changing. They're evolving. Pay attention to that, because that's the part that I actually like. And Pantera Capital CEO Dan Moorhead and I actually agree on something. What we agree on is that Bitcoin has gone through its probably most tumultuous time, crypto winter, ever. Pay attention to what the all-time high is currently, right? That was a new established high. And now we're at a new kind of low. This low is a higher low, right? So during this time, Terra crashing, FTX crashing, 3 arrows capital, all the things that went on to see everything, the whole industry take a nosedive, and almost everything hit a certain point and established a new low. They didn't hit the lows from down here. They established new lows over here. That's what I'm paying attention to. Every time I hear somebody say, crypto this, crypto that, I have other accounts that I have, and, I lost followers because I talk about crypto. And I sat there and I was like, wow, sorry to see you go, but bye. because you're not going to get away from the idea that crypto is here to stay and it's growing. Period. That said, I do think that, Bitcoin has reached a turning point the same way that Pantera Capital CEO does. I think it has hit a turning point. And we're just waiting for that one catalyst that will send the industry upward. Remember, nothing goes up in a straight line, and let me rephrase. Most things do not go up in a straight line, and most things do not go down in a straight line. But right now, we're literally just moving sideways. Could we go down? Sure. Do I think we're going to go down? Not really. And if we do, I'm just going to buy more. This is what I'm paying attention to. We should get into the numbers. Let me get rid of that. There you go. So, Bitcoin is at 29,102. Again, we're still sitting below where we need to be, which is above $30,000. And when I say this, it's because here's my line. 31,580 is my line. But before we get there, we've got to hit that $30,000 ceiling that we seem to be staring at. And we're not even approaching that right now. But just wait. Keep doing your own research and keep making your investments based on your own needs. But I think that we're going to soon see a new level be reached. And as long as that new level achieved is over $30,000, I think we'll be all right. A fear and greed index is at 49, so we dipped a little bit from last week when we were at like 50, 51. But that's okay. We're still in neutral territory for the most part. What's going on this week from economic reports and things like that? Yeah, not much. You have a Philadelphia Fed president speaking. You have wholesale inventory numbers coming out. There's nothing. You have core CPI on Thursday. That'll be interesting. You have core PPI coming out on Friday. More inflationary and more inflation information. We'll see how that goes. We'll honestly see how that goes. From a look across the board, yeah, sideways. Everything just sideways. So we're just waiting. Anyway, it's been a great day. Hope you have one. If you have questions, suggestions, any information where you can teach me something, greatly appreciated. Drop me a note. Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.